afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome along to the Euro special of Champagne Hooligans. Boys, how are we?
Great.
Bloody good. Bloody good.
Very good.
Just days away. Are we ready? It's funny how we said only a week ago, I was like, there's not much buzz. And then, just those couple of days is enough that you can kind of feel a bit of a kick to it now with the Euros coming up, eh?
It's withdrawal. It's like full-on withdrawal from football.
Yeah.
OKeeffe, how was your football week?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm here. The birds are chirping. Not as much.
Where are you? Where are you now?
I'm in Marbella now.
So you were in Mallorca.
I was in Mallorca. Now
International jet-setting Champagne Hooligan.
Yeah.
Putting the champagne in hooligan.
Yeah.
Putting the hooligan in hooligan as well.
Yeah. Well, at least one of us is. Good football week. The most interesting Newcastle piece was Antoine Griezmann playing Championship Football Manager as Newcastle manager and winning.
It's a slow news week.
Yeah. I was actually going to send that to you, but of course you were on top of it.
That really got my dick hard. Like, hopefully, Saudi deal which probably won't go through, but arbitration is due. The decision is due in the next week or two, and then right in for Griezmann. Barca don't want him. Griezmann to Newcastle.
Yeah,
Mbappe wasn't too happy.
Mbappe was not too happy. He thought it was a bit cold up there, I think.
Yeah.
My pig's French was able to detect that.
Yeah.
Did you see the quote from the PSG president about Mbappe?
No.
He was just like, he's never leaving.
Oh, I did see that.
He's never going to be sold, and he's never leaving on a free. And like, it was so, I don't know, it read almost threatening. You know what I mean?
It did. If I was Mbappe, that's like, just run down my contract and I'll get like $1 million a week.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what the relationship is like. As in, is he like, I'm happy to be the biggest dog in the small pond kind of stuff? Or
also, if France win the Euros this year and Mbappe, he scores 1 million goals, then it's like, he can go for like $1 billion.
Where's he going though? Where's he going? There's nowhere to go.
Did he?
Somewhere stupid like Chelsea or something like that.
Oh, well, that would be a great move for a real step up. But we're stuck.
Yeah, but the money is great.
He at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And there was another item you wanted to discuss in your week, OKeeffe?
Well, I just thought it was nuts. Chris Smalling's UFO sighting, like his wife comes out and like writes a big story about how like it was in the sky and they watched for like an hour.
I'll tell you what, Brian, for someone who gives out about the Daily Mail so much, the sports, that's all you're on this week.
That wasn't Daily Mail. That was
it's all coming from the Daily Mail. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
Chris Smalling's wife posted it on Instagram. That's where.
Okay, you're following Chris Smalling's wife on Instagram.
Yeah.
No, obviously
that's worse than the Daily Mail.
Obviously it was picked up on like whatever One Football's Instagram, and I spotted it there, but I just thought it was nuts. Now, like, I'm not saying that it's not true after all the UFO shit that's been coming out in the last year or so. But
where were they?
In Rome, I think. I don't know exactly where they were. They were I think it may be in Rome, but and then they had to leave before it went away, so she didn't get to the end of the story. But I wouldn't I don't know.
How pissed were they?
Yeah,
I would say knowing Chris Smalling
absinthe or something in a cafe in Rome.
Yeah.
Chris Smalling, the lads were dropping acid because like the Euros, like mother of God. If we have another lockdown next year because of the UFOs are attacking Earth, it's been a tough year.
Yeah. But other than that,
Daily Mail, Fox.
yeah.
I enjoy the Daily Mail. I've no problem saying that.
You are a Daily Mail man.
Daily Mail is
you're an EFL guy.
You're
a Daily Mail man.
I enjoy some of the stories. They're good.
Couple of tattoos, Sheffield Wednesday in the Daily Mail.
And a glass of red wine, and he was
a glass of Bordeaux.
Some oysters earlier.
Did you actually have some oysters earlier on?
He basically took a shot at Tabasco
off air.
Hey, who gets excited about a Wednesday now, huh? Podcast Wednesday.
Are we all Wednesday? How was your football week, Jamesy?
Good actually. No, well, no news on Sheffield Wednesday. I think the players could be walking out this week, so it kind of be interesting to see if they actually do walk. In
Can we do
regards to, I
live?
suppose,
Can we do live reactions if that happens?
there just won't be a club. Like I suppose I find it quite interesting because I'm wrong a lot of the time. I don't think it will happen.
Correct.
In
Certainly.
my luck, they probably will all walk out. I suppose it's interesting because I've never seen it happen to any other football club. Obviously, I mentioned in previous weeks, obviously,
I
Bury.
think it happened to Blackpool, didn't it?
No, but
It did.
they actually just walk out.
Well, I wasn't sure it was a walkout or the club just cancelled all the contracts, but then they ended up with 0 players with 3 weeks to go until.
Yeah.
I think it happened to Harchester United as well, back in the block years.
I actually went looking for that on IPTV recently. It's hard to find.
It's savage. It should be remade. It's an absolute it would be so good.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. I think the difference is there the manager or the chairman isn't kind of going like, oh, I've no money, I can't pay the players, we're going to get someone new in. He's kind of just like, no, just not going to pay them and bring on the season, bring back the fans. So that'll be interesting to see how what happens there. Ireland had 2 big games, friendlies.
I honestly don't know the results in those games.
I do.
Yeah.
Albania and
no, Albania probably give us a good game. No, we played Andorra, went 1-0 down to Andorra. I can't remember the Andorra player, but he is got the same record as Littman, who's always mentioned on this podcast on quizzes and everything like that. He's played over 4 decades, which is pretty cool anyway. But we went 1-0 down to Andorra. What's that?
He's also a postman.
Is he a postman? Is he?
I don't know.
It's the Gibraltar players that are postmen. I think the Andorran ones are painters.
Just take them from one industry.
I didn't get to watch both games because I was playing football myself on both nights. But I watched the highlights of yesterday's game against Hungary. Shane Duffy, he's back. Well, kind of hope he's back anyway. But I think the future is, and Mr. Positive over here, like the future is not looking too good for Ireland. I'm worried that we'd be like another Scotland that just won't qualify for anything for another 24 years.
Steve, how was your football week?
How was my football week? My football week was more or less spent trolling Twitter for the latest on the Haaland move, which by all accounts seems a done deal. That's what my sources on Twitter.
By all social media Twitter accounts.
I swear to God, that's what all my sources on Twitter are saying.
Yeah,
and the more you think about it, the more it makes sense, because why would they wait an extra year and have to sell him for half that price,
Oh yeah.
And we're after getting
it go to Chelsea.
Because we were after the Champions of Europe. Do you not remember this happened with
No, but
Hazard?
it's like Liverpool winning in 2005. You came barely.
It's Chelsea winning in 2012, and we got Eden Hazard, and he sent that tweet. He goes, "I'm going to play for the Champions of Europe," and then it was the greatest day ever. Yeah. So I feel like something similar like that is going to happen. Well, listen, we'll see. The boys on Twitter, my sources on Twitter are very, very certain this is happening.
I will leave the pod if he signs for Chelsea.
Well, like I said in the group, it's diminishing returns on Steve's annoyingness right now, because Chelsea have just won the Champions League, so anything else that good happens the next 3 months, you can take it, because it's just
good. I'm glad. I will hold you to that, O'Keeffe. I will hold you to that diminishing returns hypothesis.
Well, I'll still be annoyed.
I will do my best to disprove that.
Look, you win the Champions League, you spend another 150 million. Like, come on. Like, we knew this was going to happen. Like,
yeah. And that's the missing piece of the puzzle, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the saving grace for me will be that the net spend will then, of course, be over 100 million, and I won't have to do TikTok because he pussied out of that bet. Which, by the way, Steve Lennon has been he was side channeling me following Sully's TikTok, and he was like, "There's no way we are ever doing one of those." And I was like, "Steve, we can't. I mean, we got it. Fair is fair. We got it.
That is correct. I was side channeling Brian, and I was saying that there is no way I'm doing that. But what I said, what I meant, by the way, there's no way I'm doing it. Is there's no way I will lose a quiz, and there's no way I'm going to lose a bet, so it's not going to happen anyway.
You're just not going to take on any bets.
That's a braver angle to take.
Yeah.
Well, he's just not going to take on any bets. This is what he's doing now. He's playing the.
Well, listen, wait till we get to the betting corner, and I've definitely taken on a bet already. And wait till we get to the quiz, and I'll demolish everyone there, so it'll be fine. But I must say,
I love this confidence. I feel like he was very lucky over the last number of weeks. Very lucky at times.
Owen's wonderful effort, and looking forward to seeing James's wonderful effort later. I mean, it's the most embarrassing thing you could ever imagine in your entire life. I couldn't actually stop watching Sully's. It was fucking ridiculous.
I think once you do it once, like, the fear is done. So
but I don't think it, like, after one, it's not going to be as funny. But it's that first one.
Yeah. Well, I have a really good one for myself, which would be, the Southern Comfort ad of your man walking down the beach.
Yeah. You definitely won't be doing that.
I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Oh, Brian, yeah. Can we pick you? Yeah, no, that definitely won't happen.
I think that would be a win for you guys, but either way, speaking of TikToks, Ona Sullivan, how's your week?
Yeah, it's pretty good. My agent's phone was ringing off the hook after breaking the internet last week.
I'd say so.
A lot of traction. As much traction as I've had since my single days. Look, it was good fun. And then unfortunately it found its way into the rugby club group this week. I was like, oh, no need for it.
That was always going to happen.
Of professionalism that I try to keep up. I'm not sure about it. Last night I was like, oh yeah, geez, I'll watch that Irish match, and I was like, just the way that the evening panned out, I didn't. And then next thing, I checked the scoreline and it was 0-0. I was like, glad I didn't write my evening off for that. From a United perspective, not a whole pile of news, just that feeling of how badly are we going to fuck up this window? Is like, it's the dread. It's the dread.
I honestly can't wait for that.
It's the hope and it's the dread.
2 transfers away.
Hey?
Yeah.
You're 2 transfers away, aren't you?
They're 3 players away, and they're 2 transfer windows away. It's a double. It's always a double.
It's the double whammy.
United are going to sign.
I read a statement about 2 players away when
you lose the Europa final.
When you looked at the panel of players available in the Europa League final, and you just go, wow, this is 7 or 8 players short.
I think my knee-jerk reaction for the year next year is going to be, after the Euro final, you saying Paul Pogba was back, despite after the final. That was that we're gonna have to clip that for next season, because that's the early favorite for knee jerk of the year. You saying Paul Pogba is back?
Yeah. All of Sully's Man United related kind of predictions and things are certainly all.
Well, that's bias. Bias of the year is the Ona Sullivan Award.
No, Lenny, you are not in any position to.
All of my takes are backed by facts, like Rafa says. It's always fact-based. It's never just hot air.
No, sorry. I was being the United fan saying that, Pogba was here to stay kind of stuff. Is that what you're referring to, OKeeffe?
Something like that. It was after the final.
It was some bullshit, yeah. It was
rubbish. Whatever it was rubbish.
It wasn't after UEFA final.
I think it was.
It wasn't. It was before that.
It was when we did our fucking our tournament, our
awards.
It was the week before. It was the award, end of season awards, and it was But
just as embarrassing though.
Yeah, well, I agree.
And also, like, Greenwood and Van de Beek both missing the Euros now with injuries. Like, I wonder how bad they are. I hope they can get sorted through the summer. But we don't need any new signings anyway, because Shola surety, right?
Who? Shola Amiobi?
Short a guy who was also stolen from Newcastle. Funnily
That's
enough.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
But he's
like a
not.
mouthful.
He's not the Hannibal guy. He's the
Hannibal
open
Mejri.
goaler. He's the guy who looks seriously
And
good.
James Garner too. I mean, it'd be interesting to see those guys come through. It's just,
Yeah, but I remember when you were talking about Tom Cleverley.
Man United fans
next
are
skulls.
just as
Like,
bad as me in terms of Josh
Hannibal.
McCacker.
Hannibal actually looks good.
You're both pretty bad. You're both pretty bad. But
Yeah, myself and James have an air of respectability. We live in the real world. Like we don't.
no, Brian,
know
you
how
definitely,
shit our
as
teams
you
are. We
definitely don't live in the real world.
You just moved from Mallorca
Yeah.
to fucking Marbella and you're unemployed.
That's my real life.
That's not the
I
real
would
world.
say,
That's my real
say
world.
state of delusion, Fox being the deepest in there, then Lenny, then O'Keeffe, and then me.
No,
Okay,
no.
I'll take not being the deepest.
Wow.
Well, yeah, good to see you admit it. Very good, very good. Boys, shall we move on and talk about the Euros?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I've never been so excited for the Euros. I really haven't, even when Ireland have been in it.
My excitement has ramped up big time in the last week.
Yeah.
Why?
Just the lack of football over the last week has been a real.
This has been the one over the last 18 months. We've had probably the most football ever. I am excited about the Euros. I think the standard of teams are unbelievable, but I do miss Ireland.
Definitely.
I was there in 2012. I was there in 2016, and bloody hell, they are a lot of fun.
Well, I think without Ireland there, you latch on to another team.
Yeah, England for the O'Keeffe.
England for the O'Keeffe. That is so in the vein of the O'Keeffe.
I tweeted.
But he's always like this, isn't he? So
yeah. I was telling Steve, I tweeted out this week. I'll never get the hatred for England. All I hear is 1916 and 1966. I mean, get the fuck over it. You know, it's fucking
1916 and 1966 are certainly not comparable. So
they're never talking
they're
about
the two reasons.
I know that one person is not referencing both of those things.
No, but they are both the reasons in one nutshell. And
I don't think
I'm not having it.
Well, 800 years as well will be a thing.
Yeah, but you know, I summed it up nicely. And I'm all for, you know, it's coming home, lads.
The Champagne Hooligans will not be going to a political broadcast.
Don't get me wrong. You always kind of, you know, look, we support English football. You want them to kind of maybe get to the semis and then lose. I think there's around 7 teams that could actually win this.
I don't know if I've ever been so bullish on a team, other than when I put 500 quid on Brazil and Argentina to win the 24.
Yeah, and tell us what happened there. I believe
that one down.
So what happened there before the tournament? Put 500 quid on Brazil and Argentina, and
how's 500 quid each?
Yeah, 500 quid each. And my reasoning was other than the 2002 in Asia and 2010, was it in South Africa, no team had ever won a World Cup outside their continent. So I was like, well, there's only two teams here who can really win from that continent. It's Brazil and Argentina. To be fair, both of them got to the semi-finals. One of them got to the finals. I was in Thailand on a full moon beach watching that final in extra time. The goal went in, and I honestly didn't care. So
you win because of the context of watching the final. You've won because you were on the beach in Thailand.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, O'Keeffe, how did you secure the finances to?
No, so that is Lenny made up rumor that it just came from my own money. I did not get a loan to put on that money. That is what Lenny has made up.
That's not true. You definitely misremembered that, Brian, because you got a loan, half of which you put into Bitcoin and half of which you put on that bet.
No. So that loan you're talking about for Bitcoin happened in 2016.
He was laughing walking into the bank, saying that like they're idiots. They're going to give me money.
Bloody idiots.
I'm going to double. Like, do you want me to double your money? Whatever interest. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Give it to me.
Yeah. I mean, we'll recount at some stage this is the hidden story that we've never mentioned, but myself and Steve winning $2.5 grand. No, I think we'll save it. It's not a Euro special. It's
We'll do it next week. We'll do it next week.
Yeah. It's for
It's a
it's when
shit
we're
story
really
anyway.
it's when we're really struggling for content. That's
Yeah.
that's
What I will
I'm-
say, Brian, are you planning anything similar for this tournament with similar high stakes?
Yes, and did I mention this already? I didn't think I had, but I obviously have. So I definitely, because of Germany's result the other night, I've taken it back. I was going to put $1,000 on France to win, and then by the round of 16, which they're almost certain to make, or at least I thought so, I was going to trade out of the position. So all I had was, if they'd won, I'd be up. They're outrageous odds. So like, if they were won, I'd probably be
Are
up
they
5
fives?
or 600. They're higher. They're well decided. There were 7s when I checked last week. I don't know what they were. They are now. Maybe 6s. But yeah. So by the round of 16, they'll be 3 or 4 to 1. So you can trade out of that position. Just have the 0 if they lose, and 400 or 500 quid if they win.
So
You just
Keith,
never know.
You're bullish on France winning it.
No, I'm very strong on France winning. As much as I love England, would love them to win. I think it's just I've Kanté fever. Like, that is what it is. I've Kanté fever. I think he's unplayable. I think if he played with 10 James Foxes, they'd win the World Cup. And
It's unusual for Brino to have such recency bias for things as well, isn't it? I mean, he never goes
just
into
banging on about England.
He never gets into these phases, on the back of 1 or 2 weeks of
True.
something.
True.
So Kanté is obviously basically man of the match in the Champions League, and Brino is now on the Kanté train.
Like the
No,
yellow
but it's
fever
like-
that some of our friends got.
Yes, correct.
No, it's just like the last World Cup as well. Like, just Kanté, when Leicester won, just when Kanté's in form, you just cannot play against him. It doesn't matter who you have. Honestly,
Kanté.
Messi, you just Kanté. Yeah.
Kanté.
Best player for the tournament, O'Keeffe?
No, I don't think so. So I just think so my best player is going to be Mbappe, who's probably the heaviest favorite. I haven't checked, but that's definitely my.
Just to check in with you guys, when you say Mbappe nowadays, can you say it without thinking of that guy from the Real Madrid video? Mbappe.
Oh yeah, Mbappe.
Mbappe.
The same way when I think of Kanté, I think of N'Golo, because all the French guys, N'Golo. So O'Keeffe, you have France to win.
So I have France to win. I've Portugal to come runners up. Then I have the third place playoff will be between a team, my dark horse for the tournament, who is very, very dark. Just to be clear for the listeners, the dark horse rules that we've applied to ourselves is they're not in the top half of the odds. So the bottom 12 teams in the odds, that's where we have to pick our dark horse from. And I have picked my dark horse, Ukraine, to reach the semis and then lose in the third, fourth place playoff to Germany.
Sipping that Lenny juice. Lenny shiting on about Ukraine.
They are not my dark horse,
They're
but
not.
they
I
did
think
win
Steve
the
gets a match for the
Euro
yearly.
under 21s tournament recently, didn't they? So they have a lot of hot young tickets in town.
Sipping that Lenny juice. Third place winner. Who's going to win that game? Who's it?
So I have Germany to win. Ukraine is my dark horse. Then my fallen giant, I had a few teams to get knocked out from the 8 fallen giants. So the 8 top, so fallen giant is the top 8 teams in terms of odds. So I think we're looking at, Portugal, England, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Netherlands. Have I left one out? But yeah, basically, and Belgium. And I think Italy, Belgium, and Netherlands to get knocked out in the round of 16, but I'm taking Belgium as my fallen giant pick. And just to be clear for the listeners, there will be points going, and whoever gets the most picks gets to decide 2 forfeits for whoever comes last in the point standings for these picks.
And it's very possible that someone may get 0 points here because they're all
because it's impossible.
Yes.
Yeah. But then the public will get to choose the forfeit from the 2 that the winner decides. My top score. In fact, I like
going to
going
the
first.
individuals. You've done the teams.
I've done the teams.
Your fallen giant is
Belgium. So yeah, just on that, that's probably the most interesting piece I have, is that I think just Kevin De Bruyne's face being broken in by Rudiger and like Eden Hazard being shit now. I just don't see Belgium being the team that they were. Obviously, Lukaku's in good form, so I have picked him for my top scorer.
Right there.
Well, I have picked Lukaku as my top scorer.
Yeah. The funny thing with Belgium is they have pretty much had the same squad, like 85% of the same players for about 3 tournaments now. So that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, and they have done very well at tournaments.
But their group is the easiest group by a mile. And so I have Lukaku's top scorer because of that. But I do think they get knocked out in group 16. Even if they don't, that gives me more games for Lukaku to get me some points there. So that's on that one. My best player, as I said, Mbappe. And then young player, I wonder, does anyone else have this man? Obviously, Pep Guardiola, Man City love him. It's Ferran Torres, who's going to be playing up front for Spain.
Ferran Torres.
Yeah, he is. Please think he's 6th favorite in the betting or something like that, 9-1. So
is he going to be playing up front for Spain? I don't think he will.
Yeah, but he scored a hat trick against Newcastle at the end of the season, and it was a really impressive one. It wasn't like he was just set up with them. They were brilliant goals. So yeah, I think it's a good bet. I didn't want to go with the obvious Phil Foden, especially when I gone with Mbappe for my best player. So I went a bit wild with that one.
It's interesting because Paddy Power have Alvaro Morata at 25-1 to be the top goal scorer, and Ferran Torres at 33-1.
There you go. I think they might be playing up front together, maybe. But
Gerard Moreno as well is in there, having put United to the sword. So anyway, interesting nonetheless.
Very good. And Lenny, who do you think will win it all?
So I'm picking France to win. I think that's they're just too good. Then I'm picking 2nd place England. I think they're going to go all the way and just get pipped. 3rd place Germany, having finished 3rd in their group and actually getting a better run. There's some. If you finish 3rd, you get the best.
I have the very same setup. Germany is 3rd place because of 3rd in the group. Yeah,
but there have to be points. They might not get any points.
Yeah,
they might not even qualify.
Yeah, what? I don't get it.
That's true.
So they have to be one of the best 3rd place players.
Yeah. So they could fucking lose two.
But I'm
a couple of teams on 4 points that will
I think they'll get 4 points. Yeah. I think all 3
I think
of
they'd
those
be lucky to get 4 points.
points.
They might only come out with 1 or something like that. Like, anyway.
Yeah, well, who knows? But that's just the way it's
well,
anyway, they don't have to fucking do that.
Hungary. All of them will get 3 points because they'll all beat Hungary.
Yeah, exactly. So my dark horse, who I am very high on this team now, and I honestly think they're going to go a long way, and it's Scotland. I think Scotland are going to be this Euro tournament's Wales.
So I hate this.
They have going through their team. They've also got McTimoney in mid. They've McGinn. They've Billy Gilmore, who's going to be playing.
Me.
Whatever his name is.
He related to McTominay.
McTominay. They have obviously got Robertson and Tierney on the left-hand side, which is as good as left-hand side as you can have. They've Shea Adams, who's a decent striker. And they have this guy, Nathan Peterson, or some Peterson fella from Rangers, who looks good as well. So fancy them to go through. It all depends on beating Czech Republic on Monday. Czech Republic honestly don't have any good players anymore. Like the last good player they had was probably Peter Cech.
Cech, don't they?
Who?
Your man from West Ham. Soucek, he's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, Soucek. Yeah, exactly. So that's the caliber they're up against.
Yeah, which is better than all the players you just named.
McTominay is better than Soucek.
Oh, come on.
I
have to agree. I have to
Sully?
agree.
Sully.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
McTominay is better than Soucek, and Tierney and Robertson are better than Koufal. So,
but no, I think
Soucek had a great season in fairness. So if he can carry it over, he will be effective.
Yeah, but anyway, Stevie Clark has got the Scottish boys rolling, and when they start rolling,
they barely got through.
Yeah, but it's fucking easy.
No,
and imagine the Scotland-England game. Imagine that, like the Braveheart fucking stuff that's going to be going on there. I mean, that's going to be mad. That could be the game of the tournament.
It could be a great game, to be fair.
And so really do hate England.
What about the Fallen Giants?
So the fallen giant, I think I can pick a number of teams here. I'm going to go with Portugal. I just think they're hyped up to the max, hyped up to the absolute gills, and just don't think they're going to get it done. I think they've had their day in the sun.
Jesus, that's a shout. They're so deep, like.
I know, yeah, they're unbelievably deep, but I just think they're just hyped up too much. So we'll see.
Wow,
then, if you think Portugal are hyped up and England aren't, like,
Portugal.
Like, England are hyped up in a different way than Portugal. Portugal
they're
are
always hyped up. Like,
Hipsters.
all I'm thinking is, like, whose life is going to be ruined? Whose life is going to be ruined for the next 9 months because they missed the penalty and they're receiving death threats?
Listen, you don't know what it's like in Lisbon in a hot summer's day when the boys have lost the game. You know, let's not put a.
It's the opposite of a cold, rainy night.
Speculate about that.
A warm summer's evening.
I'd rather be anyway. Like,
there, but I can, you know, from what I'm reading,
drinking a cold beer on a veranda.
Yeah,
you know.
Is it Mundo? Is that the paper? Is that the paper in Portugal? Mundo? Is it?
Yeah, the Mundo. Mundo ripping you a new asshole for missing a penalty. So we'll see about that. And then the next two, I've picked Kanté as best player because I just think he's the hottest ticket in town, and I just need points for this to avoid forfeits. And for the best young player, I've gone with Pedri because I think he's going to start for Spain, and he is bloody good, and he's nice, neat and tidy, and you know, all the journos are going to be all over him for that kind of game, and I think he's got a good chance, even though I'm worried that Spain won't go too far because their squad is probably not as deep as it's been over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Got a bit of a COVID problem there as well.
No Real Madrid players for the first time in history.
Yeah, which is mad. Like Ramos, you think would be able to go on one leg, but
that's absolutely crazy, isn't it? No Real player.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
But Real Madrid have crap Spanish players now. Like they've journeymen, Nacho.
Well, like Isco, and is Isco fit? I don't know.
Asensio.
I have to say, I would love to see Ramos in the Premiership next year.
Could be.
Apparently going to PSG. This PSG team, if the rumors, are true.
Donnarumma is basically done deal.
Yeah, Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos. It's going to be a phenomenal team. Messi, out of contract.
That guy Hakimi, Chelsea looking for this Hakimi guy for 60 mil.
Yeah.
Honestly, never heard of him until today, and he looks like the best player in the world.
He's ex-Real Madrid, played for Dortmund.
Yeah. Looks very good.
That's not good knowledge, Steve. This is why
I knew about it, but I didn't think he was the best player in the world.
Any quizzes? I'm pretty sure he's played Champions League final for Real Madrid. This is the level of Steve's knowledge. Steve and I had a little call at like 4 a.m. on Friday night, was it? And Steve was like, real talk, O'Keeffe. I am going to hammer you in the quiz. And I was like, real talk, Steve, real talk. And Steve's like, offline, Brian, offline. I'm going to hammer you. And I was like, real talk, Steve, you are Sheffield Wednesday and I am like Liverpool. Like, that is
Sheffield Wednesday, a good team. Good team.
Yeah. I was like,
no one can verify. No one can verify if we've had that talk, or no one can verify.
Well, looks like the Lennons were out of Monkstown for the whole weekend. Party.
What we did agree on was that the two lads are.
It's boring. The quizzes are boring, as James says, because you two boys.
No, Steve, you can't say that. Can't say that.
But what we say in that context.
What we did agree on was that Fox and Sully were Clontarf FC in this scenario. That just scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, I can't wait till Brian fails.
I literally
fails so much, and I think Steve was actually quite lucky over the last number of weeks.
I'm happy. I'll start at -2 tonight if you want.
Cool. Wait, this is a Euro special. We're a special, so this is So it's back to 0 anyway. So happy days.
Loading.
That's a bad idea, Steve, because if we have lived in Fox has lived in our world, the Premier League world and Champions League world, for the last whatever amount of months, but we are now entering J&J Foxamore.
Yeah, okay, let's get a baseline.
No, you said it. No, you said it now. Billy Big Balls over there. You fucking said it.
Look, he wants me. He's dying for me to do it. If anyone with integrity.
What do you mean? No, hang on. You're going to turn around. Oh, you're dying for me to do it
properly. I want to beat you properly, but
look, the hand movement. I've seen this hand movement before. It happens in my house.
People getting animated, it shows you're nervous.
Yeah.
AJ Foxamore, who'd you call the winner?
It's not bad.
So yeah, God, it really is a tough pick. Everything here. So again, I think you're right, Sully. You're saying earlier on, like you kind of don't want to put too much thought into it because then you just get yourself into a bit of a tizzy. But the winner for me, I've been saying it for quite a good few months. It is going to be Portugal. Portugal will win. The runner-up. Say again.
Go on. I'm interested by your other finalist.
My other finalist.
Wales.
No.
I haven't
Italy.
seen this. It's the only one I haven't seen.
Italy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big call.
Where are your beloved English boys coming? Not even
England are going to get
registering.
knocked out in the quarters. So the way I've planned it, England are going to be playing France in the quarters, and they'll get knocked out by France.
Did I give you my golden boot?
No, you didn't.
Chiesa, yeah?
No.
Sorry, I've skipped my most important pick, which is Chiesa.
He might even start either because Berardi is challenging him for his position.
He's definitely going to start. I Googled it. So he
You
started.
Googled it.
Yeah.
Top class research.
Yeah. Berardi scored his last 3 international games. But anyway.
I just like the fact that Italy are playing Turkey on Friday and you can just get off the mark straight away.
Turkey are a good team. I have Turkey to win.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it's the
think
first
Turkey
game.
are.
It's the first game. Get a couple of goals in. Get the pressure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna absolutely hammer them.
Third place.
Third place.
Third place, Belgium. Everyone's thinking now. They're like, oh, well, actually, maybe.
Well, no, I don't hate the Portugal pick because if that happens, the rest of us are screwed. So and we're probably the second most likely team to win it. So then the rest of it's just rubbish.
Yeah, because like I was listening to complete utter rubbish from Stephen Lennon there for quite a while, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been thinking this, I've been thinking that." But
Move it. Who's your golden boot then? Here comes rubbish. Here comes absolute 100% nonsense. What is it?
The golden boot, Cristiano Ronaldo.
You can't argue with that.
I have the same.
Like it's gonna be free kicks. Obviously, so selfish. He's
Hungry in the
absolutely
first
everything.
game.
What about Bruno Fernandes? Surely Bruno Fernandes gets a stake at the Penos now, does he?
No,
I think it's between him and I think Ronaldo will take anyway.
Then I'd say Fernandes is going to score no goals in this whole tournament. That would be a good bet.
That is
check the odds. Check the odds.
Yeah, I might check the odds on that.
Check the odds. Cool. Dark horse. I'm going to just go with Poland.
Are they actually in your bracket? See, this is the James Fox. Do Poland go the furthest in your bracket?
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, I knew.
It's Ukraine.
Ukraine go the furthest.
Yeah, Ukraine go my furthest. Yeah. Sorry.
Nice, James. I'm with you here.
Okay. And then back to the questions then as well. Dark Horse, Fallen Giant. Yeah, I'll put Netherlands.
Nice, James. Another one with me.
Best player, JJ?
Kanté. Just
where do France go? Do France get to the final in your bracket?
France get to final. They get to the semis.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's definitely not going to win.
Well,
who knows? Portugal are going to get there. Like, you got to put it all out. And then best young player. I just got to go with Phil Foden because I'll have a soft spot for him. Like so. Yeah.
So
quite happy with that. I'm feeling very confident after that because
I
enjoyed the silence. There was no laughing.
There was a lot of dumbfounded silence, to be honest. But
you have to take James Fox seriously when it comes to international football. He's the only person I know who actually follows it. So
that is great.
You gotta take him seriously. How about you, Sul?
I guess I share a lot of what you guys have said thus far. France winners like that, just they have the best kind of quality throughout with experience of winning a tournament. Playing Portugal in the final, it was a hard pick. Like as in, I think Portugal could readily win it as well, but chose France. Germany, similar as we mentioned, third place in the group, but making the last four. Fallen Joy. I don't know why I can't pronounce the word giant. I struggle with it every time.
Giants.
Fallen Giant. Then England. Then.
Okay.
Dark horse. I have Russia. Just benefiting from the just around the way I see the group stages going. I see Russia getting past Switzerland in the round of 16.
I just think the Swiss are always just solid.
Yeah, but
Best way to
as
describe
a
it,
Russian, they've got a couple of young players trying to
Yeah.
Golden Boot. Yeah, Cristiano, because I have Portugal making the final. I think the goals can be spread a little bit more through France, whereas Cristiano could end up getting a hat-trick against Hungary, and next thing all of a sudden he picks up another 1 or 2 in the group. Now he's 5 leaving the group, and then he's got 7 or 8 by the time he gets to the finals. So yeah, I just see Ronaldo getting top scorer. Then it's like, how does he not get player of the tournament if he gets that? But I'm on that Kanté juice as well. As
all 3 of you take Kanté,
as previously tipped up, as previously
I love it.
As previously tipped up on the podcast, Kanté at 20-1, because everyone is sipping that Kanté juice. And best young player, I was going to go with a very dark horse. But in the interest of the competition and the point scoring kind of thing, I'm going to go with João Felix. But I also think Nuno Mendes could light it up with Portugal going deep. So we'll
just to quickly go through the odds for young players. So Phil Foden's favourite 5-1, Mount 7, Havertz 9s, and Torres 9s, João Felix 11s, Chiesa 14s, and De Ligt 14s. Sancho 20 is probably the only other interest.
Mount is fucking 22.
Yeah, there's not Havertz could be the best bet there.
I
consider the only guaranteed starter in the first 6.
Havertz played unbelievable last night for Germany as well. He was like lighted up.
He's the only guaranteed starter in the first 6.
Actually, I'm changing mine to Havertz.
Oh,
no, you can't change. No, you can't.
I can. Stevie knee-jerk gets 1 knee-jerk. It's like a mulligan goal.
No,
I'm taking it.
No way.
No. Doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter.
He was so confident the way he delivered.
Already.
You can't even remember who I delivered.
No, but I knew.
I can't. It's recorded. I don't have to remember.
It's recorded.
It's Havertz. It's Havertz.
No, it's not.
I'm taking Havertz. It doesn't matter, boys. We know you can do this. It's not the tournament hasn't started.
It's done. It's done.
It's done. Taking Havertz, best young player. Thank you very much. Love it. Thank you, Brian.
It's nothing to do with me. I just enjoyed the no.
No, you just gave me the idea though, and then it latched on because I saw him play last night.
Right.
Over the last 10 minutes, Stephen Lennon has really got himself into a tizzy. First start off the quiz.
All right then, fellas. Moving along to the Euro Fantasy League we've set up. What do we think?
Well, Keith's going to win. No surprises there.
I find it quite annoying that O'Keeffe just thinks of himself as this kind of fantasy god, even though he's won like 3 tournaments in 10 years.
Yeah. So I've won something like 6 of the last 9, but whatever.
You haven't won 6 of the last 9.
I have. Yeah,
you haven't. You've won 3 of the last 10.
No, I haven't. I've won 2 of the last 3, in fact, but also 6 of the last 9.
O'Keeffe, would you like to lay down the gauntlet to our fans out there?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can beat me, which I don't think anyone can, not to mind just in this podcast, but publicly, free merch for anyone that beats me. Unlikely, but I'll send it out if it happens. It'll probably be at best 1 person. And yeah, that's it. I mean, and I will make sure to share your phone numbers so I can send you out a nice little text like I sent the lads when I win this, and don't be surprised.
And so if you would like to put that pathetic nonsense in its place, do check the link in our bio on our Instagram and go ahead and join our league. Have a bit of crack, get involved. The comment section should be heated, let's say. Link is on our bio, and get your teams in time, and whatever you do, beat the O'Keeffe.
And you will be shouted out on the pod for outperformance and underperformance. So
yes, that is true.
be prepared for that. And so yeah, third place gets a Champagne Hooligans face mask. Second place gets a Champagne Hooligans t-shirt, modeled very nicely by Ona Sullivan right now and by Stephen Lennon on our Instagram story. And first place, Steve's coming in with the face mask, puts it on upside down, of course. And
reflection. The people seeing it can see the other way.
Yeah, the mirror. And first place will get a night out with the Hooligans if it is so desired. And a
big night, huge night.
Huge night.
Goes to the Foxamore Bulldog and no further.
Either in Magaluf or in the Fox Bulldog in Foxrock, which is more likely for our Irish followers. But we never know who's going to win.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we do know who's going to win. It's me, but
no, you will not be invited to the Fox and Bulldog if you win.
And I will not pay for a single drink for you either.
Yeah.
You're not going to win. He's not going to win, boys. Positive vibes.
Not going to win.
No.
Okay, O'Keeffe, give us the tips to win the fantasy then.
Don't compete against me would be the number one tip. And then
just for clarity,
oh my God,
I want nothing to do with that. I was not teeing him up for that, and I want nothing.
We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out for the
swear to God.
He's
had two Bacardi breezes tonight, and I swear to God, he's just going for it.
You can fuck off because I'm not giving away the secrets to my victories.
But just the important bits are that if you captain Chiesa, for instance, in the first game tomorrow night, and he gets no points, you can change it.
Change your captaincy before the next round of games is the next day, I think by 3 p.m. the following
and you
day.
can also sub Chiesa out and put in more new players.
One of your subs, yeah.
Yo, Keith, can your family vote for you to win?
No, this is not how fantasy works, but I know surprises
well,
like doesn't know how fantasy works because he loses every season.
I won fantasy a few years ago. So I have
one of the few times I didn't win.
Yeah, okay.
We're all winners here, apart from Sully.
No,
joke me. I won one of the first ones.
No, Sully won it in like 2003, and he's still going on. A bit like Steve in 2007. But,
2012.
I was number 4,500 in the fucking whole 3 or 4 million people. And
5,600, I believe, because I keep the record of this. So it wasn't bad. It was just 10 times worse than the OKeeffe did 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Well done.
Well, best of luck to everyone. Best of luck to the competitors, and we will see you on the other side.
James, best of luck. Stephen, best of luck. O'Keeffe, go fuck yourself.
Seconded.
I'll take that with pleasure.
I'm looking forward to this. It should be good. So whoever wins gets to decide
among the four of us.
Yeah. So the winner of us will give the winner of the league 2 outcomes that they can choose from for a forfeit.
For the loser of us.
Yes.
Looking forward to Steve's dancing.
Judging on recent performance.
I don't feel like dancing.
But judging on recent performance, Steve, I don't think has finished in like the top 6 for like about 10 years since he actually won
He's
that.
not great at fantasy. He talks a big game.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I finished fucking fourth this year.
And going by his year 2020 review there, I'm feeling pretty confident that Stephen is going to be dancing all across the Euros, and he's going to be dancing at the end of the Euros, and I can't wait. So hey, cheers, Stephen.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, boys. I will drink to that.
As we said, link in the bio. Join on up. Get some mates involved. Let's make that fantasy league as competitive as we can. And should be good fun. Give us all an interest. What about a little bet for the lads? Little betting corner. Little Euros betting corner. Brought to you by our friends at Paddy Power.
This time it's different. So first season of the pod is in the books, and now that we are in the flow of things, I feel like the betting is going to be much more lucrative. So
hope springs eternal.
Yeah,
I think I can feel it. I can feel it in my toes after my Philly
hopefully we
win.
can get some of our fans to give us a hand in the picks. So what we're going to do is we're going to put up 2 picks each, and then the fans are going to choose the better bet from those pair of bets, and then that the 4 winners will make up our 4-team accumulator. So go on then, O'Keeffe. Who did you pick as your bets for the opening week of the Euros?
So I have Croatia and England a draw, and Harry Maguire, who I think is shit anyway, is out. And I just really think that it's a bad starting game for England. So yeah, I think a draw there. It's 13-5. And then my other one is Turkey to beat Wales at 5-4. I'm big on Turkey. Turkey have goals coming out of their arses. So yeah, they're my 2, and I'll leave the listeners decide.
JJ Foxamore.
I am going with North Macedonia to beat Austria. First game, they're going to be excited. I don't think Austria are any good.
So no surprises there that Fox comes straight in with the worst bet.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No.
Following on from the reason you have a TikTok dance coming out tonight, James, is because you got 2 bets wrong in a row.
Yeah.
I actually think Fox maybe like to.
Problem is the TikTok dance. He has no incentive
to lose.
He has no incentive
to lose.
No incentive. Who am I?
The incentive for Fox should be
Brian
that he has to.
First of all, Brian, for one man, Brian just, I think he wants to do a TikTok, because I would say on the last 2 podcasts, on average, he will say TikTok at least 27 times. At least.
Yeah.
He's obsessed. Stephen Lennon, I've seen those dance moves before. They are, well, they're a time and a place. And,
the forfeit for James should be to not do TikTok, yeah.
So North Macedonia to beat Austria. That's at 9-2. And then my other bet was, it's a bit further on in the week, was France to beat Germany, which is later on in the week.
Steve, what about your bets for the week?
So I'm going for my darlings of the tournament, which are Scotland, to beat Austria at almost 2-1. Austria, Czech Republic.
At even money, not 2-1. It's 19-20 actually, Steve. So you shouldn't even get it. But anyway,
it's not. It's 15-8. Scotland to beat Czech Republic.
Oh, well, Betfair. I must have looked at the wrong one.
Mathematics
meme coming at the OKeeffe.
Take that back, please. And shut the fuck up. And the other one I'm going to do, which I'm not as hot on.
You're not very hot on any bets. You haven't been recently.
Switzerland to beat Wales, 23-10.
My bets for the week are Denmark, Finland draw, 31-10. And then Portugal -1 against Hungary at 6-4, which I think is a very.
That's a great bet. Yeah. I might get on that myself.
Yeah, that could be worth a few quid. So that's it. We'll send them onto the Instagram stories and let the fans decide, and then that bet will be placed across the next couple of days.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
Before Friday.
Yeah, because then we can blame the fans for fucking up our accumulators.
Yeah, and we can get on. We'll probably release a link to that bet if you want to get on it with us. Lose some money.
Hey. Hello.
If you want to stake us,
wallet inspector. Oh.
Very good, boys. Is it time for the quiz?
It is time for the quiz.
I thought we were changing the rules. I thought we changed the name of the quiz to the Stephen Lennon Gets Points section of the podcast.
Well, yeah, you start on -2 because you're so confident. So
no, we're not doing that.
Well, hang on. Could Steve just change his mind? Havertz. Well, it's quiz first and Havertz.
It's all Steve seems to be doing these days. Is change his mind.
I think we should put up another vote to our fans. I think we should put another vote to our fans. What's more pathetic, the O'Keeffe shouting on about fantasy or Lenny talking about the quiz?
That is a tough.
Well, no, but it's obviously Steve, because I compete against 8 million people and Steve competes against you two.
Yeah, but like
you can only beat what's put in front of you. And I'm actually beating what's in front of me, and you're not beating what's put in front of you.
You're not. It's 0-0-0.
But I was 578.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah. Well, I beat you 11 or whoever many's in our league, which is more than what Steve's beating.
Let's put it up to the quiz. If you want to put that out to the fans, I'm happy to see what they think of that.
Yeah, the fans.
Okay.
Come on then. What's the quiz this week, O'Keeffe?
So the quiz this week, it very much, as I was saying earlier, falls into the JJ Foxamore realm, and no one can really complain because he's been dealing with United and Chelsea questions all season. So
doing pretty well.
And doing pretty well. Won the manager quiz. So this week it's the Euro 2016 quiz. So it should be fresh. A lot of people have been doing, reading the shit from, last, as we get excited for the Euro 2020, as it for some reason it's still called Euro 2020. The rules: 1 answer per player before a free-for-all. I don't have to say free-for-all. If the third answer comes in and I say no, it's automatic out. 2 is a double or nothing will be offered to the winner of the quiz. If it's a tie after the 12 questions, we'll go to a tiebreaker before the double or nothing option is offered. And 3, it's a TikTok dance forfeit for anyone that gets 0 answers. Sully has already fallen foul of that rule. Question 1: who is the current holder of the young player of the tournament from Euro 2016?
Mbappe.
No, out.
Problem with these tournaments is they all just roll in together and you honestly can't remember anything about them.
Young player of the tournament, current holder.
Griezmann.
No, out. Griezmann's definitely way too old.
I knew that, but just...
See, if I give you 3 seconds.
Kingsley Coman.
No. Free for all. It's Portugal won it. It's a Portuguese player.
João Felix.
No. It's like 12.
Renato Sanchez.
Yes, Steve.
Oh, yes.
Steve has gone off the ball with the first question in, I think, every quiz recently.
I wouldn't give away going forward now any of those kind of clues. I think they make it too easy.
Well, I just gave one to you, so
but I took that one. But everyone was giving that one.
I literally was only reading about him the other day as well. That was so annoying.
So, question 2: who won top scorer at Euro 2016?
Ronaldo.
No, out.
Mbappe.
No, out.
Lukaku.
No, free for all.
Hazard.
Griezmann.
No. Yes, Sully Griezmann. Question 3. This is where it's getting into the JJ Foxamore realm. Ireland were knocked out of Euro 2016 by France. Who got sent off in that game?
Shane Duffy.
Yes, Steve.
I was not sure of that at all, but I just went for it.
Question 4: who scored 2
my
goals?
line is goose, I'd say, is it?
Well, pause until you're back.
We'll pause for you to come back, James. That is.
You took it like he just.
That's a home question, James. That is a home question.
Oh, look, if we go home and away now, like, what, Steve get 2 points for that, does he?
No, there was never.
I should get 2 points for it because it was outrageous.
No, well, yeah. Seems like all the Chelsea questions before 2007.
Of all the home questions of all of the quizzes, that was the most home one.
No, it definitely wasn't. Like,
there was.
There's a lot of Chelsea questions that you missed out.
No, but they weren't as home as that one. That was the most home one. It was ridiculous.
Here, lads, hang on now. I've been frozen for a long, long while.
The one you just missed me I think you saw me was getting Shane Duffy, the Ireland one, right off, basically from under his Fox's nose. Not even under his nose. It wasn't even near his nose.
Question 4: who scored 2 goals for Ireland at the tournament Euro 2016?
Robbie Brady.
Yes, Fox. He's off the mark finally, and
I'm so stressed about that TikTok. I'm so stressed.
Question 5: Sweden's goal against Ireland in the group stage was an OG. Who scored it?
Duffy.
Kieran Clark.
Yes. Fox is at the game, I believe, weren't you?
I was at the game, and I couldn't see who scored the OG anyway.
Question 6: only 3 opposition players scored against us at the Euro 2016. Obviously not including Clark because he plays for us. Lukaku, Griezmann got 2 each. Who was the third player that scored against us at Euro 2016?
Ericsson.
No. Denmark at Euro 2016.
I'm going to say Vermaelen.
No. Not a bad guess, but no.
Alderweireld?
No.
Hazard.
Modric.
No.
Munier.
Croatia.
Did we not play Croatia? I thought sure we played Croatia.
Who played Sweden?
Witzel.
Yes, Fox. And Fox's 3 in a row.
So that was question 5, right?
That is question 6.
I've got 2, Mr. Sullivan.
You didn't.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
I did. I got that shitty Irish one, and I got Renato Sanchez.
Yeah.
I must have
Irish
question
one.
6 then.
If you actually asked the question while I was offline, then it's absolutely horrible.
You were online.
You were online, and then I referred it back to you when you came
Then
back
you got
online,
it
and you agreed that you were there. You were there for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
It was Ireland were knocked out 2016 by France, who got sent off in the game. And
I was offline for that.
Well,
Stonewall.
yeah, I mean, he got it.
Lost Stonewall.
He got it immediately, and
Well, I can tell by
he
Sully's
only heard
reaction,
you.
like, you know what?
I
I think we should
forfeit the call.
We'll forfeit that question. Look, it's only fair. So it's 3-1-1.
No, because you only.
I was
said you were
100% fucking off the call.
I know, but there was no way you were getting that. I came in there so fast. I came in there hot as
You got it immediately,
That's-
and you only said you were offline following the answer. But I'll make a call.
Like literally, the whole thing was frozen for.
Yeah, I think. Look, I'm all about like fairness. I think we should skip that question.
So, yeah. Anyway, go on, drive on.
I'll make a call on it as I'm looking forward.
I'll back myself.
No call to be made. Like I was offline, so like.
Well, there is a call to be made because I'm the commission. I'll make the calls as I see.
Are there any more Irish questions in here? Because otherwise, I think I'll come back regardless.
Who knows, Steve? Who knows? Question 7: Who knocked England out of Euro 2016 at the round of 16?
Sweden.
No.
Portugal.
No.
Iceland.
Yes, James. Streaming ahead. Streaming ahead, and that was a reasonably easy.
I was
one.
thinking of Colombia. I was thinking of Colombia in the fucking World Cup.
I didn't have much on this morning, and I just came across my Euro 2016 sticker book, and just started having a read through it.
Yeah.
Just for clarity, you were 28 at the time last Euros.
28.
And you do have a job.
I have a job.
Yeah. Okay.
Question 8. This is the one that has been ruined by all the news this week, and so it should be very easy, and someone should get in there in 1 second. Who scored the extra time winner for Portugal in the final?
Quaresma.
No.
Helder.
No.
No, I can't remember the goal. It was outside his box. He just come on. Big boy striker. Eder is gone offline, but that's the answer.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah, Eder. Yeah, he got it. Yeah. Helder was close, but I couldn't give it to you.
Okay, fair enough. Whatever.
Question 9. Who won player of the tournament?
We already had that as a question.
No, we had Golden Boot.
Cristiano.
Nope.
Modric.
Nope.
Ronaldo.
No, already guessed. Free for all.
Golovin.
No. Who?
Remember he was a hot Russian fellow. Was he playing for Russia?
I mean, shocking.
Remember Chelsea were going to buy him? I was assuming because he did something good. Cruz.
Bernardo Silva.
No.
Oh, Pepe.
No.
Contrao.
No.
Bernardo Silva.
Oh,
Bernardo Silva.
No.
Brian Lukaku.
No.
Hazard.
No.
Oh, if I left Hazard out there.
Belgium lost in the quarters, I think.
Royla.
No, lost. They lost in the quarters, and then Wales went through to the
Oh,
Quaresma.
Oh, Matinho.
No.
I can't remember. Who
Ruben Neves.
No, it is one of the finalists.
Kanté, Pogba,
No.
Benzema,
No.
Mbappe.
No.
Griezmann.
Yes, the same as the Golden Boot winner.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I wasn't even sure France were in the final, but when you were not laughing too hard at that, I was like, okay, it's French.
Yeah, Golden Boot and player of the tournament.
What are the scores? So I've just won 2 in a row there.
4 for Fox, 4 for Steve, 1 for Sully.
And that's with that 1 point being deducted
that
from
is
me?
with the 1 point being added to your score. So I'll make a call on that when we get to the end. Italy's top scorer at the tournament. Question 10. Italy's top scorer at the in the tournament, scored 2 goals, but he also played in the Premier League at that time before leaving for China after the tournament. Who is it?
Oh my God, he's a handsome bastard. Fuck me. What is that guy's name?
Armitage.
Graziano Pell. Graziano
Yes,
Pell.
Sully. Graziano Pell. Sully with the
What did Fox say? Armitage.
I'm thinking of the. I think he's not Italian.
Armitage. Yeah, no.
No,
right.
I'm thinking. I don't know. What was the West Ham dude who was kind of?
Armitage. He's
It was that guy.
Sully can bring it to a 3-person tiebreaker because there's 2 questions left.
Well, no, Lenny will be out of it in that instance.
Yeah. Cheating as always.
That is a possibility. Portugal had 2 players score 3 goals at the tournament. Sorry, question. Portugal had 2 players score 3 goals at the tournament. Steve, you're now out. Cristiano Ronaldo and who?
Quaresma.
No.
Quaresma definitely wasn't playing in that tournament, was he?
He was.
He did, yeah. He definitely scored 1. I thought he's possibly 2.
Anyway, Fox only got about 3 seconds here now.
3 seconds, yeah.
Postiga.
No.
I can't remember the man.
Moutinho. Bernardo Silva.
Sorry, all I heard was Bernardo Silva and Moutinho. They're both wrong.
Pepe.
No.
Bernardo
Felix.
No.
Ruben Neves.
João Felix.
No.
Nani.
Sanchez.
Yes, Steve. Nani.
Oh, that is not easy.
How is Nani not easy?
Because I would have thought he was like 75 years old.
Stalwart. Question 12. Griezmann finished top scorer with 6. 6 players finished joint second with 3 goals. Only 2 of these players didn't play for France or Portugal. Point for each.
Thomas Muller.
Lukaku.
No.
Harry Kane.
No.
Hazard.
No.
Modric.
Muller.
No.
Kramaric.
No.
Klose.
No.
Robbie Brady.
Morata.
Yes, Morata is 1, Sully. So there's 1 left.
Harry Maguire.
No, Harry Maguire.
Sorry. Are we still guessing? There's another point to go.
There's
Is there?
1 point for each. There's 2 players.
Sané.
No.
Gnabry.
Lewandowski.
No.
Werner.
No.
Ibrahimovic.
No.
Gareth Bale.
Yes, JJ.
Oh.
So that was the other one.
That's a draw. Me and Fox, then I assume.
Yeah, I think.
No. Let's be fair.
I think fairness, Steve is straight in there. So we've got a tie at the top. So the tie. So sorry, finished up 5 for Fox, 5 for Steve, and 3 for Sully. 12 questions, but 1 had 2 points, so 13 points in total. And so finally, after all my work trying to get tiebreakers going, we have a penalty shootout scenario between Stephen Lennon and James Fox. And so do not answer until I explain the rules. Both of you will guess 1 at a time. It will be scored like a penalty shootout. And if you're tied after 5 guesses each, it goes to sudden death until someone misses or scores and misses. And you will have 5 seconds to guess.
Doom, 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 doom,
Ollie, do you want to decide as who goes first?
JJ Foxamore.
Right, so James Fox will be first. It's probably an advantage to Steve there. So the question is...
I'm not happy with that, I'd say, Sully.
Yeah, but he didn't know. Question. I have the list of the 16 teams who made the knockout stages of Euro 2016. If you get 1, you've scored a penalty. If you miss, you've missed. Okay, so James Fox, 5 seconds of the 16 teams who made the knockout stages of Euro 2016. Starting, go. Portugal is correct. Steve.
France
is correct. Fox.
Belgium
is correct. Steve.
Wales
is correct. Fox.
Italy
is correct. Steve.
Germany
is correct. 3-3. Fox. Spain is correct. Steve.
The goalkeeper's going to end up taking one here.
England
England is correct.
Oh, by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
Iceland.
No, you promised.
Iceland is correct. Steve.
4.
4.
Croatia.
Croatia is correct. We're in knockout stages. 5 penalties each. There is 6 answers left. Fox. 5.
Denmark.
No, that's a miss. Steve, 1, 5, 4.
Poland.
Yes. And Steve takes 10.
Oh, he pulls it out of the fire.
Yeah, it was very
That
good.
is nerve-wracking. That is nerve-wracking.
The teams missed were Switzerland, Northern Ireland, Hungary, Slovakia, and James Fox will not like this one. Ireland.
Oh, that is a kick in the teeth.
That is such.
And sorry, just for clarity, is that counting Lenny getting a point for that thing a while back?
Yes, that is counting. Which Steve got immediately, so I'll award it to him.
Duly noted going forward.
That is
well, blame your internet provider, not
blame
me.
your internet connection. Yeah, that is a win for Steve. So, as I said, this is the time of the quiz where I just get points. That's probably 10 quizzes in a row now at this stage. And that was a tough one, though. That was a tough one. There's about 4 home bankers there for James.
Whoa. You've had a home quiz for the last 3 months, okay? And
you've just had one.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ireland.
Right. Okay. So you
doesn't mean I fucking follow the Irish football team. I didn't even know who they were fucking playing in that tournament.
Well, you obviously knew Shane Duffy pretty well.
But you did, and you didn't even you picked Denmark over them. And were Denmark in the Euros, or what happened to Denmark? Because they didn't get into the qualifying stage.
I'm not even sure. It is embarrassing for JJ Foxamore.
Let's check up on Denmark, all right?
And all you would have had to do was really get one more, because I was out of potential countries there.
Yeah. So Steve, what is it? It's going to be a 5 or 6 podcast series. You've got one in the bag now. Are you going to? You've always given it up. Are you going to change? Are you going to give it up for the double or nothing?
I mean, the penalty shootout like that, the nerves, everything. There's kind of a release of tension there that makes it difficult to give it up, I have to say.
Wow.
But in the spirit of the quiz and my expected dominance, I'm going to give it up.
Oh, brilliant. Thank God, because I don't like when the quiz isn't good enough, as Fox has found out to his detriment.
I don't think it was always going to go ahead anyway, Steve. So thanks for building up anyway.
Double or nothing.
Bear in mind, if I win this now, I've almost got an unassailable lead from the get-go. So,
well, I thought you started at -2, Steve.
Yeah, you did. Actually, hang on. He said he started -2 the questions.
Oh, was it the question?
No.
The questions. So, like,
I didn't mean the questions.
You didn't win the quiz anyway.
So double or nothing. 3 players had more than 2 assists at Euro 2016. Get 2 of them to win the quiz.
De Bruyne.
Bernardo Silva.
De Bruyne is 1.
Bernardo Silva.
Ronaldo.
No. Ronaldo, no.
Nani.
No.
Griezmann.
Okay, so it's free. It's a free.
Mbappe?
No, it's not free. No, free. Pogba, no.
Hazard.
Yes, Steve, that's unassailable lead. De Bruyne and Hazard.
Wait, who said De Bruyne?
I did.
He said De Bruyne earlier.
That's a fucking Brian. That's a fucking stupid question. Like, give us something challenging, and people just shouting out names. Like, it's confusing when people just shouting. Like,
well, you should know. You should have shouted.
I was expecting. I was like, okay, well, Brian, he's probably gonna ask some fucking decent question rather than do some fucking stupid question right at the end. Like,
top assists at Euro 2016 is a reasonable question.
I would like it to be reviewed, please. The
shouting like
quiz that the point that he won during the thing.
It doesn't matter. It went up to the tiebreaker anyway, Sully, and everyone had a chance to win, and I won. So
Fox won the quiz.
But if he went double or nothing, which we probably wouldn't have,
No, I would have. I
Fox
would have in the
definitely
spirit.
wouldn't have.
I would in the spirit of things. Even though I've
Listen,
got
you
points
can
taken
find
off me
10
before
different ways
as
to
well.
try and beat me, Sully, but I like.
To be honest,
you
it was
have
a
not been
shit
able to do
question,
it.
right? I haven't minded
wasn't.
the questions in the last while, but it's a stupid fucking question. Like,
Top assists is not a stupid question, James. Top
Stupid
assists
fucking
of the
question.
Euros is
It's a perfectly reasonable question, but there is no way in God's holy hell that Lenny can boast about this quiz win because he did.
Oh, there's lots of ways. There's
Well-
so many different ways.
Well, James,
I'll give you a head start. Oh no, I won't. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Can I have Havertz back in? You're pathetic. You're pathetic, Lenny. All right. You're pathetic.
You can have the
Boring.
head start. So
Boring.
I'll be at 0 now.
Oh, I
I'll
can
be
have
at
the
0.
head start now when it's like, oh, well done, Lenny, you won the quiz. Like, oh, yeah, well, it would have given you the head start, like, you know. Oh, I was
James,
about
will
to
you
answer
just try
that.
and win a fucking quiz? I mean, you and Sully are like fucking chuckle brothers here. Like, it is embarrassing and it is boring, and I completely agree with you. And this is not going to sell. You know, people are not going to just
Steve,
log
you
on
are-
every week for me to
you
win
look-
every quiz.
Mate.
So
you
please make this
are
more
the
difficult.
king of football nerds, okay? And I'll give you that,
Please
all right?
make
The
this.
king of football nerds.
he's not. I
Reading
am
up.
I'm at least the prince of football nerds.
James, a Euro 2016 tournament quiz.
Yeah,
There should be no way I'm winning that.
James Fox. Yeah, it should have been by
What?
James
Hang
Fox.
on. Did everyone watch the
Fox
quiz?
did win it.
Yeah, I thank you, Sully.
The
After
only
winning the
question
quiz.
is whether it should be 1 point or 2 points because Fox said he'd give it up for the double or nothing. So either way,
2.1 point, 3.5
What was the
point,
question
0
on this?
points.
well, I do believe the penalty shootout tiebreaker is a fantastic addition to the quiz.
Yeah, so not only did I
That was very
win
good.
the quiz, I won the penalty shootout tiebreaker and I won the double for nothing. I couldn't have won it. I like.
The one guy that you missed in the double or nothing was Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey tied with Hazard. and
I
De Bruyne.
probably would have got that
It
pretty
was a
soon.
stupid fucking question. It's too much shouting. Ask a hard question on the tiebreaker, not
It
just
was
like,
a hard
it
question.
was
You
just
didn't
like,
get
yeah,
any
but
of the
just people going to
answers,
shout
James.
names rather than think.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
because
Well,
the names that I shouted out were the ones that were the answers.
and I'm also not sure that thinking has ever been JJ Foxamore's strong point. So
No, agreed.
So what was the answers? The answers were
Ramsey has
Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
I feel like I'm actually getting worse at the quizzes.
okay,
No.
and that's enough time for
James
this week's
Fox
podcast.
is James
Thanks
Fox
all.
is very annoyed. He's very annoyed. It's almost Shaqiri annoyed.
Even wearing the Irish jumper as well. I mean, it was all.
It's
set
not a
up for you.
jumper, Stephen. It's definitely not a jumper, but
Well,
yeah.
it's definitely not.
Look,
nice.
look. Hey, great quiz. You know, we'll go again next week. Learned a lot today about people's team selections and what they're going to think is going to happen to the Euros. So I think there's going to be a lot of ammunition over the next few weeks. So looking forward to it.
All right, fellas. Thanks for your time. That was a blast.
Cheers, Sully.
See you, boys.
See you, boys. Bye bye.